Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Behind the Comic, the podcast. I'm your host, Paul Roseberry, and let's get caught up on the week. What have we been going on? Several things, including what's coming up. I guess we'll jump right to the big news. It'll be my birthday on Sunday. Big birthday coming up. Yeah, April 4th, the fourth day of the fourth month. Always an exciting birthday date, I've thought. I'll be 42. Yeah, how about that? 42 years old. So the thing that's funky about this is that I'm at an age now where my parents had me kind of young. My mom was 19 when she had me. So my parents, I always kind of judged, you see adults and then you base adult life on the adults you come across. So we lived in a small town, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. When my mom would be around town, she'd see people she went to school with. And so when I was young, I would see the people she'd run into, and those were old people. That's just how that is. Those people were old. They were adults. They were all done because they're your parents are a generation ahead of you. And I'm at that age now, definitely, where some of these people who she would run into were an age where I am when I thought they were old. And it's fucking me up. But I've thought about it a little bit, and I've come to grips a little on why this is. She knew some kind of hard-living people, So, she knew some people who it was rougher. So by the time they were my age, they were 80, These people had lived, they were kind of spent, some of these guys, And so I think it's not the age, it's how much you've got left in the tank. I feel like I've got a pretty full tank. I really do. I don't feel I would see some of these bearded guys who had done labor jobs their whole lives, and they were just Jesus, tired of getting kicked around for 42 years. I mean, they were really over it. So, it's not 21. It's exactly double that. It's crazy. I could drink legally a whole second round. How about that? Yeah. But I don't feel like I'm 100. I think I'm I don't know. I get teased today by a buddy, a real estate client, Chance, who was on the Chug Butt episode. We were messaging today about hanging out, and he called me old, that motherfucker. Chance, I hope you're watching this, you bastard. I'll drink you under the table. We're going to catch up soon and have some drinks, but call me fucking old. And I didn't know if it was because... So, I commented on one of his Instagram stories. He hits me up, says, we got to drink again. I said, definitely. I said, I'm not going to be around this weekend. I'll be around the weekend after. How's that? And he's like, sounds good, old man, or something like that. And I'm like, wait, is it fucking old that I planned when we drink? Is that old? Is it I don't know. Wait, some people have stuff to do during the week. We can't all be, chug bud millionaires over here. I mean, I didn't know. I think he was just talking shit to talk shit, but it really made me wonder. I was like, do I just do old shit that I don't even know? There's no way. Planning when you catch up with someone isn't old. I've always, right, Chelsea?
I don't make plans.
The fuck out of here. Come on. So anyway, yeah. So I'll be 42, and it's fine. I'm enjoying it in a lot of ways. I feel good. I feel great. It's kind of fun to have a birthday. It's Chelsea and I are gonna do something cool. I don't know what. It'll be a surprise. She hasn't let me know. I like it that way. So it'll be a fun little weekend coming up. You know what? Actually, that did remind me of something. Okay. I don't know how I made this connection, but in my notes, I wanted to make this connection.
That's very old.
What?
Referring to your notes.
Get the fuck out of here. You know what?
I love notes. I take notes all day.
You're old too. Anyway, if you really, I've actually thought philosophically about age, because you wonder, it's kind of weird. You can't control age. We all get older. And life, in a lot of ways, it seems like it's kind of the best, high school, college, 20s. You're like, shit, is that when it's best? And you gotta, I think it's kind of like a wave. like that's the beginning of the wave. And we all get pushed out at the beginning of the wave. And it's kind of fun because the water is just we're all just tumbling along at the beginning of the wave. But after that, you got to learn to surf it, I think is what it is. You got to learn to get up on that wave. And if you learn to like build something with your life a little bit, and like meaning the same way you would learn to get up on a wave, which takes some skill, then you can start to ride the wave. And because you've learned a little bit of a skill going into that wave, then you can have a fun 30s, 40s, 50s, who the fuck knows, 80s, I don't know. But if you don't learn anything about what to do with that wave and you just tumble along with it and you never get up on top of it, yeah, you're going to get your whole body tossed into the sand and smacked around, and things will suck by the time you're 30, you know? So I think there's something to be said about building something, you know? I don't even know where that began. Is that old? I feel like I have dementia already. I forgot where my thoughts began.
God.
I feel like it was a pretty good thought, though.
You were younger when you started this podcast.
Shut the fuck up. That's like Mitch Hedberg said. Someone showed him a picture and was like, this is me when I was younger. And he's like, every picture of anyone is a picture from when they were younger. That guy was amazing. Yeah, so I don't know how... I guess it was about how my mom's friends seem kind of spent. Kind of not as clear of a connection right now, but I'm going to go there anyway. This morning, when I woke up, I heard someone screaming outside of our apartment. We live in Los Angeles. That's not unusual. People fucking scream. Just this place is overrun with homeless. But so I hear someone screaming, and I look out the window, kind of because I just want to see some shit go down. You know, I live in a city. I want some action, especially if I can see it right almost out of bed. So I take a peek out of the slider, looking to see what's going down. I try not to get the dog excited because she gets worked up. But so I peek out, and all I see some guy like inside of this dumpster that apparently is against the curb because it's garbage day. So the dumpster's out there to be picked up, and there's a guy in it, and he's like chest deep and digging through stuff. And I think he had been yelling, as Chelsea pointed out, maybe even not at anyone, because I didn't see a second person. And she's like, you know, you don't need a second person for there to be screaming in the streets. Like, these guys just yell at themselves and shit two-way. And so I think this guy, she might be right. He might have just been yelling at himself. And I was watching it. This is the connection. God, I'm going to come back to it 9 times. So what it was I realized tonight as I was making my notes, when I saw that guy in the dumpster, it infuriated me on a level of like, I'm annoyed that I live in a place where I look out a window and have to, 1, see a dumpster on a trash day, 2, see a human being in it, and he's screaming and shit. Like, what the hell? Like, this really sucks. I gotta get us into a better neighborhood. We're not in a bad neighborhood. We're in Sherman Oaks. It's a really nice area of the valley, but it just, that part made me feel like, you know, what the fuck? I gotta elevate this environment here. And then I was realizing tonight, some people, maybe of a more whole mind, a more humble, I don't know, they might say, this never even crossed my mind, but they might see a homeless guy outside of their apartment and say, wow, there's a guy who has to dig through a dumpster to get by. I am noticing this from inside the comfort and safety of my warm, comfortable apartment. What a lucky guy. I should really be grateful for the fact that I'm indoors and I have this. And I gotta say, I think that's a loser mentality. I think that is absolutely some loser shit right there. I am glad when I say that I still have some gas in the tank. I have at least 3/4 of a tank. That's what reminds me that I have a full tank of gas, is the fact that I see a fucking homeless guy digging through trash outside of my apartment, and immediately I'm pissed and want more. And I'm not for a second being like, well, at least, at least life is good enough that it's, blessed me with this bread. Get the fuck out of here. Absolutely not.
I say thank you for our roof every day.
Oh my God. Oh my God. There was a homeless guy who, when I used to live off Wilshire, there was this homeless guy. I've talked about him a million times. Sweet guy. Nice guy. He had like 4 teeth or so. Nice guy. And I don't know if maybe he lived in a shelter, because he wasn't like he was clean, dressed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He was doing well for a homeless guy. I'm sure he had maybe a shelter he stayed. But every morning, just out of repetition and just friendliness, I would say what I didn't know what else to say. I'd always be like, hey, how's it going? And I get annoyed with myself because every time I said, hey, how's it going? I knew what he was going to say back. He said the same shit. Every day above ground is a good day. And I think to myself, that's why you're homeless. That's why you're homeless. Does it ever occur to you, you set the bar a little too fucking low? You know what I mean? Honestly, that's not a real response. Every day above ground is a good day. You spend most of your day on the ground in front of a fucking Walgreens, and I do give him credit because he would like I don't even know if he held doors. What he would do is he had newspapers and he would and Windex, and he would try to clean windshields. So he tried to do something. Like I liked him, but I didn't like his attitude. I didn't like it. I didn't think that was a winning attitude at all. And, fair enough. It's why I wasn't going to school him on like, hey, you ever wonder why you're wet when it rains? Because every day above ground that you're not on fire is a good day for you. Like, you got to, what's tomorrow have in store? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You getting a second shoe? Like, what's on the goal list? Huh?
Yeah, what's on the to-do list?
What's on the to-do list? What's the goal? So anyway, that said, that does parlay into a conversation Chelsea and I had last night. I mean, this is not the homeless episode, but we will go with it. And this is a little more humbling, as much as I say that all I've said. Chelsea's a far better eater than I am. All right, she's keeps a far better diet. I mean, the way I exist, it doesn't make sense. I shouldn't be able to make more me based on what I eat. It's not food that makes cells of a human. Like it's a mystery of science that I can even walk or talk or see. So what I've realized is that I think the reason I do continue to exist is because Chelsea eats so healthy, but she never finishes a whole meal. So there's always like some really healthy leftover scraps that of course I finish. I mean, it's right there, and I know it's the best vitamins I get all week. So I realize I essentially exist as like a homeless guy who eats what would be the throwaway of my girlfriend. Like if she lived alone and ate the way she does alone, and I just knew the way she ate as a homeless guy, and I camped out outside of her window or her door, like that, my diet would be no different. Like I think I survive essentially the way a homeless guy does on her trash. I think so. I ate a whole, dude, today is Thursday. I didn't drink yesterday. I wasn't hungover. I ate a whole Red Baron pizza today.
What?
I know, Chelsea didn't know. Today, I know, I did. I was home. I was working my ass off. I was taking comedy notes from my notes app that I never take the time to really take them out of the app and organize them. You got to take that shit out eventually. I mean, God, the reason you write it down is so that you have it written down and you can reference it and come back to it and do something with this material. I never take the time to organize. It's kind of like leads in business. If you don't take the time to organize your leads, and come back, hey, what are you gonna do with those leads? They're not worth anything. So yeah. So Chelsea's teasing. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Well, that brings us into our next.
I may have just cut one on the air a little bit. Anyway. So let's move on to the next topic. Chelsea, I think, started a new hashtag last week. I mean, this is just a guy talk. It's kind of gross, but it's a guy. So, sometimes I eat a little bit of garbage on the weekend and I fart a little bit. That's what's going on. I'm a guy. I'm a grown man. Sometimes, sometimes you do that shit in bed and then it kind of wafts out a little bit. Sometimes you do it in bed. And you hope the other person's totally asleep so they don't have to deal with it. You hope they don't move the blanket so that it doesn't, so they don't waft to themselves. I mean, yeah, a little bit sometimes. But if I'm like up for it and I know that you're up for it, like I feel like you have energy. But if you're like really tired, I'm not trying to mess you up like that. But on Sunday morning last week, I guess I let one fly, and she really caught the brunt of it from under the blanket, and it upset her a little. And she said the funniest thing. She goes, "Come on, hey, it's my Sunday too." Like I was ruining her Sunday. Like I was actually
all day.
robbing her.
You guys
Robbing
had the whole
her.
story. The car, the windows were up. You were blasting ass all day.
Don't listen
Every-
to this
I realized
banshee.
that whole Sunday
Don't listen to
was
this.
being thrown to the wind.
Anyway, I don't know if you caught any of that from over there, but she was upset that, okay, I had farted several times, apparently, quite a bit. And yes, it could be very deadly. And so anyway, it prompted her, she got a little bit serious and was like, hey, come on, it's my Sunday too. And I was like, did you just start a hashtag? Like, did you just like Me Too the movement of women who are sick of being like farted at by their spouses? Is that what you? And she laughed. Thank God it broke the tension of like what had been broken into the air previously. But we kind of agreed like that. I don't know. Let's see if we can get it started from here. There's got to be one, maybe three people who will ever see this video. And if it's pre-apocalyptic and we still have internet and hashtags, maybe we could start that. Hashtag It's My Sunday Too. Wait, should we just do hashtag?
Let's do it.
Wait, would it just be hashtag My Sunday Too? Or do we need the it's? Yeah.
It's
Okay.
my Sunday too.
Yeah. Hashtag It's My Sunday Too. So that's for all the women who feel that they have been wrongly and overwhelmingly farted at by their other, and I say other because I'm sure maybe there are gay relationships where women,
I'm sure this is
whichever,
this is a universal problem.
yeah, whichever chick is like the alpha of the, I don't know how that works. The one who wears like the rolled up denim.
You don't think chicks fart?
No, they
I
do.
don't, but, like,
They do, but I'm saying like in a lesbian relationship, I wonder when you see like, the one who's got like the guy haircut, I wonder if she goes full male, like if she farts a lot and then the other one doesn't and gets angry.
You fart.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and by you saying that, I understand. You just really won't let go that you apparently fart. Like, I'm not,
No,
we don't need to
fart.
liberate you in this way.
I don't fart.
Good. Chelsea doesn't fart. See, this is why we can have a relationship. This is why it goes on. Because she doesn't, she doesn't do that shit. Anyway, so if for those of you women who feel like it's time that your voice is heard louder than other noises in the night, then yeah, it's my Sunday too. I've already coasted through like 18, almost 20 minutes here. We're doing well. We're having a good time. What else? Oh, I got some fucking bomb-ass new Nikes. Oh, they're right there. I've already posted. You've seen them. You've seen the pic. Chelsea, they were a gift. I think it was a birthday or Christmas. I think birthday.
This is 2 years ago.
Christmas, it was like 2 years ago. And I'm not like big on gifts. I'm terrible at giving gifts. I've gotten a little better this year. I've gotten Chelsea a few cool things. Well, the island. I got you the island. You didn't know that was coming.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome. The only good gifts I've ever really given anybody, I think, are Chelsea. Like in life. I mean, I'm a terrible gift giver, but I'm also not a good gift receiver because I'm a good gift receiver because I don't want any gifts. Like I don't, huh?
The pen. You gave back the pen.
Oh, you want to talk about an epic fuck up in the way of gifts? An epic fuck up. All right. First year Chelsea and I were together, she got me a Mont Blanc pen for Christmas.
I thought you'd be signing a lot of contracts.
She thought I'd be signing. She knew I was in real estate. She had worked with me on my team in between jobs for a little bit. So she saw me. We met through real estate. So she knows, and I was getting better and better. I was doing pretty well. I was making some money and, just coming into a lot of business with signing. And so she got this beautiful pen. I think it was $350. Like discounted. She went to like a discount, which I don't blame her, but she got like this place. It was like a outlet online or something. It was like a $450 pen. I think you literally spent $300+, and which maybe was almost a $500 pen. I grew up so poor that I couldn't fathom having so much, like in my mind, do you know how many other things you have to have of wealth and value around you before you start getting into multi-$100 pens? Do you know, like I could get a fucking Bic. This was free from Flappers Comedy Club, free. And I use it all the time. Pens to me are free to like 10 for $1.99. That's what pens, and what do you buy pens 6 times in life? So when she gave me this $350 pen, like she spent $350, immediately, one, I was uncomfortable just having that expensive of a pen, like that's like, I don't know, it's like half of a TV or something. But also I was afraid I would lose it. Because I'm not used to having to watch out for that expensive of a pen. And you hand someone your pen to sign something, and then they walk off with it. I've walked off with other people's pens. Usually it's a Bic, like who cares? But pens walk. And I was like, man, I would be so frustrated if this $350 pen just were to walk, and like someone walked off with it and I didn't even think to notice it for a week because I'm not used to it. So long story short, she said, if you don't like it, we'll get you something else. Two mistakes. One, it was a beautiful gift from her. She wanted me to have it. She thought about it. She thought about me. She thought about me having it. And this was what she wanted to give me. This was her vision of a gift to me. It was very sweet. It was sentimental, all that. Two, because I'm a terrible gift receiver, I didn't think of something else to tell her I wanted. So I didn't get anything for Christmas that year. I fucked that up. I told her I wasn't comfortable having the pen, and I thanked her, and that we would pick something else out for me. And then I felt so awkward about having not accepted the pen that I didn't feel right looking for something else now to like spend this credit I had with her. So I got nothing. I totally fucked myself so hard. One, I hurt her feelings. I made an ass out of myself, and then I lost out on a gift that year. So for what it's worth, guys, if your girl gets you a gift, no matter what it is, if it's a fucking like when a kid makes a pottery ashtray for their dad, or whatever it is, no matter how weird or expensive or whatever it is, thank them for it. Hold it, cherish it, keep it.
I get it though. I get it.
Do you?
Yes, I do. It was a lot. I think you were talking about starting your own business.
I was.
That's why I got you the pen, because I thought it was like a good omen.
I know.
I totally get it. Like it was a lot, especially like the first year.
No, but I think I spent, that was same year. Like we spent the same amount on each other. Like we got each other. That was the year I got you the Vitamix. Yeah, so I wasn't overwhelmed that you got me, like you didn't give me a fucking Porsche, you know what I mean? Like there was a girl in college, and I didn't really date this girl, but anyway, this girl who I talked to one time, anyway, I literally never even dated this girl. I know she wanted to date, and like we talked all night one night, and she wanted to give me a Jeep. She wanted to give me a Jeep. I felt like I could have a real future as a con man because I had unwittingly talked this girl into giving me her Jeep. I knew she was trying to give me like a fucking awesome Jeep, and I couldn't accept that. There's no way. I mean, I knew she had some money. Like she had 2 Jeeps. She was like 20 years old. Last name was Ransom too. How scary is that? But she didn't outright, it didn't get to the point of her offering the Jeep, but I knew she was saying things that were leading toward, she felt like I should have this Jeep, because I had a really fucked up Jeep, like a very similar CJ7, and it was beat up and barely ran, but I loved it. And she could tell how much I appreciated mine, and like she knew things had been through some wild stories, and she was like, this when I had done the acid trip to California and all, and she was like, you just should have this Jeep. And I was like, I could tell that's where it was going. So yeah, the pen, I could handle the pen. It just but as a pen. Yeah. Like later on, I think the next year you got me an Xbox, comparable price. Very happy to have the Xbox. I led you to know, like I threw that out there. I was like, you know what? How about an Xbox for Christmas?
No, but I totally get it.
You know what I mean?
I
knew the best I was going to do with that pen, the best I was going to do was never use it. I was going to put it somewhere like safe. you know? So,
Innocent.
yeah. So I really thought I'd look for something else that would have equal sentimental value. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. That's we're getting there. We got about 5 minutes left. Yeah, I've been putting together a bunch of my comedy material. Like I said, notes, putting them together. I'm going to start stringing this together. You guys will start to see some really awesome pieces coming out piece by piece. We're putting those out on Instagram and Facebook and all that. Smaller bits, so you guys can kind of just, dive in for a quick little nibble as I'm learning to make this podcast more of like an online podcast, something available for download, as opposed to like no one on Instagram is going to watch a 30-minute podcast on Instagram. So I was a little bummed that I didn't get like a ton of action on it before, but here I am, I'm posting a 30-minute piece on IGTV. But I guess you just gotta, I'm learning my way, learning the platforms.
You have what's short is your dating advice.
Oh, that's what we've been doing this week. You blink, a week goes by, you don't even know if you did anything. I was putting together my dating advice, put together the reel. I put that together. I'm sure I'll continue to chip away at that. But you know what's not included in the reel, but I had a great time recently with the boys over there at the Awfully Irish podcast, which if you haven't tuned in, if you haven't seen me post about those guys, get on it. Those guys are in Ireland. They have a huge fan base in Europe and the U.S. These guys, I mean, they're 19 and they're killing it. They have guests from all over the place. So check them out, and I always have fun with them. But I did a live dating advice pod with them recently. Oh my God. So which was better? When I was giving dating advice to a 13-year-old? Or when I was giving dating advice to a Filipino man who had a rooster going the whole time. I got to post a clip of that. It was awesome. I played the clip for Chelsea. She lost it because I tried telling the kid, I'm like, dude, because it's like a live thing, and he's telling me what he would like some advice. He wanted some advice about approaching girls. And as he's saying that he has a hard time striking up conversation with girls, I hear a fucking rooster crow in the background, and I go, "Oh, was that a chicken? Do you have a rooster in the back?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's my chicken anyway." So yeah, I have a hard time. I go, "No, dude. All right, just listen. Let's just pause for a moment because I think I hear where you're about to go with this. If you have a hard time talking with girls, you should talk about your chicken, okay? Because you have a chicken. It sounded like maybe more than one. He said he had several. And I was like, yeah, that's your in. I said, does everyone have chickens where you live? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, shit. Really? I thought that for sure was his in. He was like a farm boy, but he lived in the Philippines. Apparently, house cocks are a normal thing. Everyone's got roosters. So it was kind of an awkward but fun conversation anyway. So there was that. But yeah, it's been fun chipping away at the dating advice. There are going to be a lot of clips of that coming out soon, piece by piece, just all kinds of different little tips and advice. Because really, I know some stuff when it comes to dating. I'm a lucky man. I'm in a long-term, very successful, happy relationship with a great lady, with Ms. Lanham over there. And I can do the same for you. You too can, just right now, 1995. But yeah, so we can get you there. So we're coming up. There's about a minute left. I think we're going to call it right there. That's going to be our pod for the week. I will save some ideas, some topics for next week, and we'll come back and do it again same time next week. So you guys, that's our episode of, how about that? I'm just blanked for a second. This is the episode about, am I old? Am I really old?
Oh my God, like I forgot my podcast name.
Yeah, what am I doing? Last minute plug. Get on Conversational Passport. What am I talking about? Get on the Conversational Passport. This is Chelsea's new podcast. She is not as ridiculously crazy as me just to sit here and talk about myself for 30 minutes, which I'll get more guests. I will. It's partially lazy. But Chelsea's got some awesome guests. She just launched it. Conversational Passport. She has great guests. Chelsea has a very exciting life. She has a lot of exciting interests. She digs into those interests and actually reaches out to book authors. She reaches out to chefs. She reaches out to people who've been dead before. Yep, said that. People who've been dead before. She has the living dead on her podcast. Like, how does it get better than that? That's a plug that makes you want to know more. Conversational Passport. This is Behind the Comic. I'm Paul Roseberry. See you next time.
Dead before, that's so funny.
Isn't that a good way to put it?